Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back once again. My name is Jordan, also known as JMonster. I want to thank you guys for joining me for a very important announcement. Before I say anything, I would like to wish you all a very happy Christmas Eve and a happy holidays. I hope that wherever you are, at the very least you get to spend it with your family, and if you can't, then I hope you're in good company, warm and safe. But we over the 33 Forge team would like to offer you a pretty substantial present this Christmas Eve. So we've been working really hard over the last few months to get a build ready to share with you guys. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. We will be releasing on our Moddb page, and I'll put links for you down below, the event that you don't know where that is. We will be releasing a 6-faction multiplayer open alpha. So you guys are going to have a chance to play with the Sons of Feanor, the Realm of Angband, the Guarded Realm of Doriath, the Elves of Assyriand, the House of Finarfin, and the Dominion of Tolin Gaurhoth. So there's a bunch of Elven factions there, and 2 of the Evil factions. In addition to our 6 factions, the build is going to come with actually 3 scenarios based on the Great Battles of Balerion. It's got a ton of maps, many of which were made by Steward of Dale, or myself, or other people within the community. And it's also going to include all of the map editor assets from 33 Forge patch 0.97. So there's a ton of stuff to do, there's a ton of maps to keep you busy, there's also going to be some classic Siege maps on there as well, Mythlon, the Grey Havens, and other stuff like that. So that's pretty exciting in and of itself, but there are a few things that you need to know about getting set up with I keep wanting to call it 33 Forge, it's because it's in the name of the folder. But there are a few things you need to do about getting set up with Silmarillion Total War and having it run at optimal capacity in a way that's going to be respectful of your time as well as the time of the people that you're playing with. So if you don't already have a 33 Forge folder, then you can kind of skip this step and just copy our build directly in there. But if you do have one already and you want to go back and play that at some point, then what you need to do is go to Properties here, and you can change the name through here, or you can just rename it. And rename it to something that you're going to remember, what's in that folder. So don't name it to, like, Pickle Juice 27 or something. Like 33 Forge 0.97, and then you know what's there, and then you can freely add our new folder in. And you only have to do this right now because our mod is in alpha, and it's based on 33 Forge patch 0.96.1. And so a lot of the file paths are still the same. It's something I haven't really got around to changing because my priorities have been elsewhere. So yeah. That's something you'll need to do to get started with this. And once you've done that and everything's hunky-dory, go in here and there's a couple additional steps to follow. And these are really, really important. I cannot stress enough how important these steps are. Medieval 2 is an old girl and she is fragile. So what you're going to do is run the large address aware exe here. So you're going to run that. And you're going to point it at this file right here, kingdoms.exe. You can do it to both of them, there's really no downside to doing so, but you are going to want to do it on your kingdoms at the very least. I've already done it, so I don't really need to. So you have to point it at that, and then you'll check this box here to give it the large address aware flag, which will allow it to use more than 2 gigabytes of memory. Pardon me, you'll click save, and then that's out of the way. And from then on, and I suggest that you make a shortcut here, which you can do by just right-clicking and going to create shortcut. And you put that on your desktop, because you're going to need to run it through the batch file that's included in here called 33 Forge. That will get changed to something a little bit more appropriate later, but again, we're in alpha. And it's important that you do this because this will run it with the kingdoms.exe. If you launch the launch code, you'll run with medieval2.exe, which can potentially cause some stability problems. And indeed, that's not even the exe that you applied the large address aware to, so you won't get any benefits. Here's why this is important. There's a lot of stuff in Medieval 2 that's been added over the years by Third Age, by Reforged, and now by Silmarillion Total War, and whatever mod you happen to be playing. It's taxing. It's taxing on an engine from 2006. It's important that you do this because if you do not, even if everybody else in a multiplayer lobby runs large address aware, nobody will get the benefit of it if one person. All it takes is one person does not. And that person is opening everyone up to crashing. and into wasting everybody's time. And it's not fun for you. People get salty. It's Christmas. I want you to have fun. I want you to not be bickering with each other in the lobby or getting pissed and because, you know, you had an hour and a half of your time wasted, and that's understandable that you would be angry. So let's avoid that. Let's just miss that entirely by running the large address aware and then running the game through the batch file. It's important that you do this. Please follow those steps. Once you've done that, I'm going to show you a couple other tips and tricks in terms of settings that you should use when playing with or when playing Silmarillion Total War. And here we are. So if you've successfully done the steps that I just outlined, it's going to bring you to this wonderful little title screen. And from there, when you are playing in multiplayer, there's a couple other things you're going to want to do to ensure that you're not crashing, that everybody is having a nice smooth multiplayer experience. This is going to help your frame rate, and like I mentioned a few times now, it's going to help your stability, which is huge. So go to Options, go to Video Settings, and you're going to see a few presets here. Multiplayer, Balance, Single Player, Custom. This isn't so necessary to do when you're playing in single player, so if you're mucking around in custom battles and you want to get some cool screenshots with high graphics, feel free to do so. But when you're playing in multiplayer, it's better for everybody if you run it with the multiplayer preset. I like to play with widescreen, so I will usually click that. If you don't have a widescreen monitor, I don't know if you have a monitor from like 30 years ago, maybe you don't have that option. But it's important that VSync is disabled. We have found that it's a hell of a lot more stable when VSync is not disabled, or when VSync is not enabled, so disabled. Version 1 shader is paramount. Version 2 shader is way more taxing, especially in multiplayer. It can cause crashing. Please avoid it when playing in multiplayer. You want to watch your replays in like maximum settings or whatever 2006's equivalent is of like high definition, go for it. In multiplayer, set it to 1. Be kind. From there, you can change the resolution to whatever you want, whatever your native resolution is. Mine happens to be 1920 by 1080 because I'm a plebeian and can't afford 4K. So that's what I will change it to. And there you go. That's all you need to do. Just those 2 quick changes, and you're ready to go and play some multiplayer. Yeah, this is going to help your games be smoother. It's going to make everything look kind of potato-y, but it will ultimately help you get through games and do the larger scale games. If you find that the people that you're playing with are having difficulties with stability, you can always try lowering your unit settings as well. So to do that, easy enough. You're going to go to Game Settings, and you can do this in your multiplayer lobbies as well. You'll just have to set the unit scale to large instead of huge. It will make your games a little bit smaller, but it does make them infinitely more easier to run, especially when you're playing on maps that have a lot of additional things that have been added. Yeah, that's pretty well everything I think you need to know about getting started with Silmarillion Total War. I would like to reiterate, run with the batch file. Make sure you have LAA enabled on your kingdoms.exe. That is so important. I cannot stress how important that is. And make sure your video settings are on low. Should have a great time. Like I said, it's an older game, so you may still get some crashing here and there, but there's lots of stuff that you can do to make that a little bit easier on yourself and easier on the people that are playing with you. So, I hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas Eve. My name is Jordan, also known as JMonster, and a big heartfelt thank you from myself and the rest of the team and our testers for all the support that everyone has shown us for the mod so far, and all the interest that people have expressed in what we've been working hard on. I hope you guys have an excellent Christmas, and I'll see you on the new year. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.